You have it in the garden here. All right, here we are on the right angle cross of Eden, 1-3 profile. And when we get to the 1-3 of the 4-6, you see, of the 6, you can see right away they understand. Retreat, back up, back up. The realization that wasting one's resources against overwhelming odds is not courage but folly. How clear is that? Everybody thinks that if you got a 6, you open to the 59, but then everybody thinks that gates are channels and they're not. The 6 isn't open to the 659. The 6 isn't a corner prostitute. It's not like you can just show up and say hello. It's the 6, and it's very powerful. It's sitting there and saying, with duality, remember duality, the 6 is saying, you want conflict, and I'll give it to you, baby. It's, I'm wasting my resources being involved with you. It's pointless. I don't want to have a child with you. That would make me stuck with you for the rest of my life. I don't want that. What do you think on the other side is the 59 with a club? It's the caveman, cavewoman. The 6 one says, I don't want to waste my tell me what about that later. Whoa! Be very suspicious of very, very personal things that are ruled by Pluto. The power of regeneration that can embrace retreat as a phase and not a failure. The emotional stability to accept conflict, or emotional instability, by the way, in teams at times of conflict. The sixth gate is not here to say it's ready. It's not here what it's all about, not at all. It's a first line, it's investigating, and it's looking for something that won't waste its resources. And in the end, you get to the pure genetic that say, all right, all right, all right. I know you're stuck with me. I know you're stuck with this. I know that you got a mate. I know that you're a bond. Pick the best genetic material that you can, because what matters is when you get out of this deal. And what you get out of this deal is going to be the offspring. So choose the best genetic material you can. And anything less than that, resist. And if you want to see, because of the nature of the pH, where birth control comes from, it comes from the 6-1. The 6-1 is the mother of all prevention. Obviously, a 1-3 is going to learn the lessons of this very quickly. And unfortunately, it's often too late. And if you're 1-3 and if you're fertile, you end up wasting your resources because you end up impregnating and being impregnated, and you end up with something that really wasn't worthwhile. It's a terrible problem. And remember, this emotional, we always have an answer. Our answer is strategy. If you're an emotional being, there's no truth in the now. Wait out your wave, play hard to get. Every time that you're dealing with young people, please try to get them to understand that saying no is not an anti sex thing. It's about saying yes to courtship. I'm not conservative, and I'm not sexually conservative, and I'm being quite a dilettante in my life. But I truly understand now, because I understand the way it works, that because it's so emotional, because it's so rooted in an emotional process, that without courtship, there's no chance to find out whether or not there is a potential that you're going to enrich yourself, not waste your resources, but add to your resources. The 1-3 is at risk. A 1-3 on the cross of Eden, you know damn well that they can get pregnant at 16, and that would really mess up the life. So it's something to be aware of in that sense. If you want to think about the nature of the sixth gate as a profiling gate, remember that most people stop at the roll gates. You do the 4G roll gates, and then you get to the 59 and the 27, and you stop. But it's very important to include the lines of the 50, which talks about the development of intelligence, and the lines of the 6 that you tell about the development of feelings. They're both very important. And when you're dealing at the sixth gate, you're looking at the root of need, passion, and desire. You can see very much that the way in which you multiply is based on 6 themes. Themes: retreat. We start with retreat. In other words, don't be in a hurry. And the other side of it is, once you do meet that force, then retreat into the beast with two backs. Retreat into the whole that is greater than the sum of its part. Find the spirit. The second line, the gorilla, and I'm not talking about the beast, I'm talking about the warrior. That is one way, and we get talk about what kind of bonding means after this. Allegiance, trying to find allegiance, triumph, arbitration, the peacemaker. These 6 ways, and these are 6 ways that we decide or who we will have a child with. And each of these 6 ways is emotional in nature. So they're in a wave, which makes it very complex, and obviously says to us that if we teach strategy, honoring the inner authority, you can see how clearly it is that the only way that you get to a shot in hell of being with the right partner in this life at any level, you not just your lover, but friends, associates, and all that stuff. Good luck. 1-4. We get to the 1-4. What we know about the 1-4 is that the 1-4 is simply going to, if it has caution as an archetype around it, it will be much more cautious. There's no question about that. But of course, we can never forget that the 6 is a very powerful polarity, the 36. And we know that there is this deep sexual drive and a need to transcend inexperience that underlies this cross. And after all, this cross is really something. You must go forth and multiply. And people who come in the cross of Eden are always thrown out of the wilderness. And it can be very lonely. You want somebody with you. This is the heart and the core of the duality game of the genetic level. It's the heart and the core. Okay? So good luck with the heart and the core, guys. And keep that conflict running.